What's going on, guys? It's Adonis. We're going to be talking about the episode preview for 116 of Dragon Ball Super in this video, specifically talking about the Ultra Instinct Omen form that Goku achieved in episode 115 and how it's different from the one we saw prior and why it's different. Let's talk about it. Now, if you guys are fans of Dragon Ball Super, make sure you hit that subscribe button and you have notifications turned on so you don't miss any future content. Now, before we get into it, there will be a little bit of spoilers in this regarding episode 116. So if you don't want to see or hear any of the spoilers that we're going to be talking about that came from the synopsis, go ahead and click off now. But if you're like, you know what, I saw the preview, we could play with it a little bit, then let's go. All right, so we see Goku automatically starting off in Ultra Instinct Omen fighting Kefla, or Kefuda, however you want to pronounce it. And you can see he's in his Ultra Instinct Omen form. Super sick. I love the way he looks. This is definitely the best looking version of Goku, I think, besides Super Saiyan God. I think they're very close. I think because this form is so nonchalant, like his presence, I tend to cater to this a little bit more because Super Saiyan God, when he first got introduced, he had a very similar vibe to him. Very just chilled, laid back, wasn't super crazy. This is very similar in as far as like stature, as far as like how he presents himself. Now we definitely see Kefla powering up this crazy attack. Let me power this down really quick, or bring this volume down real quick. And she's powering this attack towards Goku. We're definitely going to see some new abilities. Fused fighters always have like very unique powers. Gotenks had some crazy stuff like the Kamikaze Ghost attack. We had the Spirit Sword and stuff from Vegito. You can see Goku's just not caring. He ends up punching Kefla right in the stomach. She's like in super pain and he's just chilling right now. Now you see her actually powering up even more, adding another attack, creating something even crazier. That actually looks ridiculous. And it's showing the steam again, right? It's showing the heat from Goku, right? He has his heat coming off of his body. We see Jiren actually waking up because of this new power, or the power that he senses that he fought prior. And then we see Goku literally erupt with a power up, or him building his energy up in this form. And you can see just the steam building off of his body. And here you see the steam as it's kind of like bringing the camera in focus and out of focus. Obviously Kefla and Goku with the Kamehameha. Now here's some really big things. So let's actually go back to where we see the steam, because this is where things get really interesting. Now the last time we saw Goku in Ultra Instinct Omen was obviously when he fought Jiren. Now, during that, we saw this wave of energy around him, but there wasn't this steam that was coming off of Goku. That wasn't represented at all in the episode. It was just the waves of heat that you saw, but you didn't see steam at all. And you see just radiating from his body. And then you see, obviously, Jiren, but then this is the part that's crazy. He powers up in the form. Now, with this, when we look back, Goku was just in the form attacking Jiren. He didn't seem like he was completely there. When his eyes started to blink out of the form, you then heard him started to yell and started being more vocal. But in this, we don't obviously know where he's at in his form, if he's falling out of his form during this kind of explosion of power. We're not sure where he's at. If he's just powering up in the form, we don't know yet where this lies within the episode. But this whole, showcase of steam coming off, we did not see yet, and we haven't seen thus far. Now, the big thing that was massive to take away from this is actually the attack, and I'll show you. So Goku is powering up a Kamehameha in Ultra Instinct. Now, why is that even a serious thing to talk about? Well, let's talk about what Ultra Instinct Omen is. So originally when it was announced, Ultra Instinct was this new form that Goku had. And this is the thing that I had talked about prior. And I know a lot of you were giving me a ton of heat about this when we first got the leaked image of Goku and it was saying a new transformation. It didn't say a new form, it said a new transformation. And I feel like this is still showing what I was talking about then. So the Japanese name for this is Mageta no Gokui Kizashi. Now, I'm not an expert translator and stuff like this, so I did some research and looked online, and obviously the Kizashi is the omen part. However, this could be translated and mean a couple of different things: sign, warning, symptom. And this is where, to me, I think they're really trying to have it focus on is the symptoms of Ultra Instinct. Now, you have the Daishinkan talking about that it's too early to kind of figure out if that's exactly what it is. You had Whis just very like looking like, oh, perhaps this is something that could be going on. But it wasn't definitive as far as that is exactly what it is. And he even stated, like, there's something going on with this heat emitting from his body. We know that Whis doesn't have this heat emitting from his body when he's in Ultra Instinct. So with this being said, I think the omen part as actually meaning symptom. So we see the symptoms of Ultra Instinct, right? The ability to move without having to think about it. And it's more of a subconscious power. So think of like your subconscious or Goku's subconscious taking over his body, breaking his limit of whatever mental limit he has over his power. And that's what's getting him this immense power boost on top of the ability to move freely. And what we're seeing here is him having a little bit more control over it, because when you saw in the previous time he did it, he had no control over the power, which means when he did the ki blast, there was no Kamehameha, there was no call out for the attack. There wasn't. He usually talks when he punches. He had no noise coming out of him whatsoever. Goku really wasn't there. He was just the vessel at the time. And I feel like right now we're seeing him power up an attack that is actually his attack. And the reason why we know that, reading the synopsis of the episode, he's talking about doing a Kamehameha at point blank range. So if it is a Kamehameha and he actually says it out, it means he's actually aware that he is in this form at the moment. Or at least to some degree, he's more aware. So I'm just gonna call this like a Ultra Instinct Omen tier 2. And the reason why I say that it's not what we saw prior. There are some differences, the steam being one of them. We didn't see the steam in the past. We saw just heat, but there was no physical steam coming from his body at all. And then 2, now that he has more control and actually can call out attacks that he actually has, this adds a little level of control to a form that allows you to move freely. But because it's still omen, because it's still the symptom, it's not the actual form yet. So I think we have yet to see the actual form of Ultra Instinct. I don't think we've seen it yet. I think this is like, we're almost there, but he's not there yet. It's almost like the false Super Saiyan form that we saw from the Lord Slug movie, where he was almost a Super Saiyan. He had tendencies, he had certain power increases, but it wasn't the full power increase. It wasn't the full transformation. I feel like that this is what this is. I feel like it's not 100% Ultra Instinct, but there's the symptoms. He has the ability to move and he gets a nice power increase, but it's not the full power increase. It's not the full control. And he isn't, you know, at the level that somebody like Whis would have as far as the full control of the ability. Now, before we continue, let's do a secret question for the iPhone 10 giveaway. And if you guys aren't familiar with this, I'll leave a card up at the top so you guys can check out that giveaway and what the rules are. But this is the secret question for the giveaway. So if you could choose a superpower or a race of people to be, what would it be? So for example, like you wanted to be Kryptonian and you would have all the powers that a Kryptonian would have. Or if you just wanted access to the Speed Force, you had that. Or you wanted to be a Saiyan. It doesn't matter. Or you wanted to be a Soul Reaper. Doesn't matter. Let me know in the comment section down below. It could be anime, comics, cartoons, TV shows. Doesn't matter. I want to know your guys' thoughts about that in the comment section down below. Let me know your guys' answer to the secret question for the iPhone 10 giveaway. Now, we have seen some leaks in the past from Dragon Ball Heroes talking about things in the Dragon Ball Super series, mainly being things like Jiren. Like we heard about Jiren before they announced him in the show. Ultra Instinct, stuff like that, that are now we're seeing things in the, you know, Dragon Ball Heroes show that we hadn't seen at all yet in the series. Especially Goku without his shirt on. We still haven't seen that yet in that form. Now with that said, some of the leaks that came out from the Dragon Ball Heroes camp was that Vegeta and Goku still haven't had their moment yet. They still haven't had their new whatever that's gonna be. Now, we can take that with a grain of salt. It could just be hearsay. But considering the fact that we've seen leaks from this game that's a Japanese exclusive prior, I'm more inclined to believe that they kind of know a little bit more than we would. And if that is true, that we haven't seen the actual pinnacle of this form, that the omen, the symptoms is really all that we've seen thus far. We haven't actually seen Goku in this form. And that could actually be that red-haired form that we saw earlier this year during that, like, you know, Goku chocolate bar leak that leaked out earlier. Now, right now I'm going to talk about a little bit more of heavy spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything that's past episode 116, I would advise maybe clicking off now. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss any of the extra Dragon Ball content or other content coming out this week for the iPhone 10 giveaways. Make sure you guys are subscribed and have the notification bell for that. But let's get into some of the other spoilers. So we know for a fact that Goku is going to fall out of this form again because he doesn't have full control over it. Obviously, the steam has a lot to do with his inability to control the form, right? He's leaking a ton of excess power, probably. Maybe his body he has no control of how to regulate the form at all yet. We really don't know why. We just know that he can't sustain the form for too long. Now, the big question with this is a lot of the synopsis didn't say anything about Kefura around her being still in the fight, in the tournament. We don't know. I really hope that she ends up fighting Jiren just based off of her cockiness. I feel like she would want to test that power out. But I think that Goku and Kefura are going to continue fighting this next episode, but it's saying that Kefura is continuing to get stronger, which means that she may either get another form, which I hope is Super Saiyan 3. We're not 100% sure if right now she's in Super Saiyan or a Super Saiyan Berserker mode. We don't know what that is at the moment. We're assuming it's Berserker because her hair is green, but I wonder if that's just what it is because Kale is inside of her. Pause. Now, like we see in the preview, Goku's powering up, so there really isn't a reason for him to power up because at the moment he's already leaps and bounds over Kefura, right? We know that for a fact, just off of what we've seen thus far of what Ultra Instinct can do. Kefura is not on that level right now. So for him to power up like he's doing in the preview would either lend to two different scenarios. One, Jiren pops up into the fight because he's like, okay, I can actually play again. Somebody's here that can actually fight with me. And he wants to get up and play, and Goku powers up. The other scenario would be Kefura taps into either a Super Saiyan 2, a Super Saiyan Berserk, or a Super Saiyan 3 form, and Goku's just like, okay, you're willing to play that, let me show you what this power can actually do. And he powers up even further just to completely crush all of her hopes and dreams. Now, maybe what we're seeing there is actually Goku losing the form, like his body can't sustain the power anymore, and it just basically explodes out of his body, very similar to how Broly and Kale did when they were powering up and, you know, their power overflowed out of their body. That could be a very similar situation, but it's still very unclear. Let me know your guys' thoughts on my theory on episode 116 regarding Goku's kind of tier 2 Ultra Instinct. Let me know in the comment section down below. And also, if you guys have theories around this episode, I want to know that. Let me know down in the comment section below as well. And also, if you're participating in the iPhone 10 giveaway, leave that answer in the comment section. And if you're not subscribed yet, make sure you are subscribed. Have that notification bell turned on as well so you don't miss any future content. If you guys like the video, hit that thumbs up button, show your boy some love. And if you want to check out my last video, the link will be right here to the side. All right, guys, till next time. See you later.